What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Never Miss Mondays podcast. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Matthew.
And today we are talking about having partner being in bodybuilding and the other one not. But honestly, a lot of it more too, like, yes, it's us two as partners, and it's about bodybuilding. A lot of this will be about bodybuilding, but this bodybuilding is just lifestyle approaches to a more extreme. Like, all of my lifestyle clients live a bodybuilding lifestyle, just less extreme. So if you're not a bodybuilder, but you're still have physique goals, lifestyle, health, and fitness, like, this still applies to you in regards to, like, whether you have a partner or, you know, not even if you have a partner, but maybe let's say you live at home with your family or you have roommates, you're in college, you just have friends that you're with all the time, in the workplace, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, people you just spend a lot of time with, like, how to be successful in your relationships, but also in bodybuilding. And yeah, the last episode that we did talked about, like, having longevity in health and fitness, which talked a little bit about relationships. But this is more, specific to those relationships and what we do with them. So, yeah.
Let's do it.
So, to no surprise, I'm an NPC bikini bodybuilder. I did my first competition back in April, which a year ago I was 5 weeks out, which is freaking insane. I literally feel like I stepped off stage yesterday, basically. So, it's crazy how fast time goes by when you're a bodybuilder, because low-key, I feel like time goes by faster because I have to plan in like 6 months.
Yep.
So I feel like time goes by so fast. But yeah, I did my first comp back in April. And y'all are actually the first to know about this. I'm not going to say exactly, but I start prep in less than probably 10 weeks. Anywhere from,
I think it's like 8
to 12-ish.
Yeah. More like 8 to 10. It's not 12 weeks out.
Yeah. So I'm starting prep in the next couple of months, just depending upon how my physique ends at the end of my building season, which low-key I'm really happy about where I'm sitting right now. So that's super fun. But yeah, so I'm going to be starting prep for my second season. I'm doing, I'm doing multiple shows this year, which is also new. Last year I only did one show, but I'm excited. I feel like I have a new mentality about bodybuilding. I was insanely dedicated last year, but I just have like a new form of dedication, and like, I truly enjoy it, and I know I enjoy it. Last time was like, let's see if I like it, and just kind of see if we want to do it long term. Now I know, like, this is my shit. Like, I want to do it for a while, so that makes it fun. But we'll start off like how we got into build it and how I got into bodybuilding, and more so like when I got into like more intense fitness before you did, and like the conversations that we had, because I feel like that was probably the best thing that I could have done, and then it made it so much easier for you. So
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
When we did a whole episode, you know, coming out of college and everything like that. So finding yourself like post athletics. So I'm skipping over all of that. But I would absolutely recommend you listen to the post athletics episode. That one is bomb. Thebomb.com, if I do say so myself. But I hired my first coach out of college in 2021. I hired my first online personal trainer. And I told you a lot about how I wanted to hire a coach. But I feel like I didn't even like specifically tell you why for a little while.
Yeah, I wanted a coach. You never explained why or like any type of goals. I want to get into lifting and I'm get a coach.
Yeah.
Get better eating habits.
Yeah, that was basically it. And honestly, I don't even know what I wanted. And I think it's so funny, full circle. I talked about this, but the coach that I hired now, she's my best friend. She's at my wedding, Katie Frustruck, and she was a bodybuilder at the time. And I think it's so funny that, you know, I wanted to be, you know, you want to be like her. You know, you look up to people. And you want to be yourself, but you look up to people. And, you know, now I do bodybuilding. So that's really cool for, you know, her to see and for me to still, you know, have that tie to her. But I started with her, and, before then, I wasn't watching nutrition at all. I had just recently kind of recovered from binging and, like, finding myself, like, after college and getting in a better routine with that. So I wasn't really fighting much with binging just because my eating habits were, like, low-key trash. Like, I wasn't restricting. We weren't, like, restricting anything. So, like, I wasn't having the tendencies that I felt. But yeah, I was watching my nutrition more. I was learning how to track macros for the first time. I was learning how to even track my calories. Like, I'd never even tracked my calories before. And so I was learning how to do all that. I was getting in the gym. I had cardio requirements. I had all this new stuff. And for a little while, I feel like off the bat, though, I was pretty quick telling you, like, what I was doing.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, well, because before we would always, what do you want to eat? This. We knew exactly, and we would eat a lot.
Yeah.
And then overnight, as soon as you hired her, it was, can't do that. Got to do my macros.
Yeah.
And I'm over here at the time.
What is a carbohydrate?
What the fuck are macros? I'm like, who gives a rat's ass on
Yeah.
how much calories are in what?
Yeah.
How many carbs are in what? Also, learning, I would see something that would be 20 carbs per serving.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, holy crap, that's high. But the next one is 20 carbs per serving, but it wasn't high.
Yeah.
So knowing the difference, same number, but
the volume
is different. So
yeah,
learning it all.
But I feel like I was pretty quick with you off the bat saying, like, hey, these are my expectations. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like, which, we had been together for a while at that point. So I feel like it made it easy for us to have that conversation. But it took me a long time to tell my family, not in the fear of that I would be judged or that they wouldn't support me, but in the way of, like, it was new, it was weird, like, no one in my family had ever owned a food scale, like, to my knowledge, none, my family is really healthy, but, it was different goals, and, sometimes you feel, like, disrespectful, coming home to visit and, like, not being able to partake in, like, dinners or stuff. So I feel like for you, I communicated, like, the changes very quickly.
Yep.
Which was super convenient, and you were receptive very quickly. I mean, I have so many videos of you, like, cutting my strawberries and weighing them and, like, all that kind of stuff. But
oh, yeah, and I'll make sure it was
to
perfect.
the T. But I feel like for us, honestly, that was easy. But for my family, it took a while. But I have this conversation, with a lot of my clients, but from the partner's point of view of, the one who wasn't the one making the changes per se at first, like, for their perspective, would you rather them tell you right off the bat? Like, I want to know from your point of view as the partner not having those changes, like, what should they do?
I'm glad you told me off the bat, because before, like, we were working out, and, like, right before you hired Katie,
yeah,
we were starting to, we were already working out on a regular, and we were starting trying to be, like, more mindful about what we ate.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't every day. It wasn't, like, serious. It was just more, let's try it. Then you hired Katie, and at the time, I was like, cool, you got a coach. I didn't know you were serious until you communicated, said, no, like, I'm dead serious. These are my goals. I want to look like this. I'm tired of feeling and looking like this. Like, you told me we would have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
And you told me exactly how you felt in your skin and how you felt awful, disgusting, like you weren't happy with yourself, all the things, and you wanted to better yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, let's do it. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think I do agree, and I think it'll be nice, for people to hear that from the side of,
because, like,
you needing that communicated to you.
Because, like, even so, if you didn't tell me off the bat at first, I would have didn't, because it took like 2-3 days after you hired Katie. You told me.
Yeah.
But I, like, remember those 2 to 3 days we like all right. Before we would only go to the gym 2-3 times a week.
Mhm.
All right, hey, we're going to the gym. We went yesterday. Why?
Mhm.
Like, no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we fixed dinner last night. We ate good. Well, let's go out.
Mhm.
No. Why? Like, I didn't realize that even those first couple of days how serious it was and what you were like goals were until you told me. And if
Yeah.
you didn't tell me until you told me, I don't think I've ever would have. I probably would have eventually picked up like you're serious about this, but if it didn't, it would have took a minute before you told me. Like I'm glad you told me and told me what your goals were, so I could help in any way.
Yeah. I think that having the heart-to-heart conversation, like, very early on with your partner, because yeah, I mean, hiring a coach, to you, as someone hiring a coach, you're investing money into this, you're investing time. To you, like, you're taking it seriously, but maybe your partner doesn't see it as that serious yet, or they don't understand the links of the how uncomfortable you are, or things like that. So having the heart to heart and saying, like, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what it's going to take, this is what it's going to look like. One will make things so much easier on your partner because they know everything you're working towards, but then it makes it a million times easier on you as the person who wants to make the change, because you don't feel like you have to hide anything. It's not weird, it's not uncomfortable. You have a support system. You kept me accountable on some stuff, and like it just made it easier to know that you knew everything that was going on.
Yep.
So have the conversation right off the bat, and don't just be like, hey, I hired a coach, I'm tracking my food. Like,
yeah, like
talk about it. How do you like, if this is your partner or your friend or your roommate or your family, say, hey, I hired a coach, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I want to feel, this is how I want to look, this is what it's going to take for me to get there. I ask that you respect me and my decisions and support me as someone that loves me, and go from there. Don't just say, hey, I hired a coach.
Whoever you talk to, make them feel part of it.
Involved.
Yeah. So like tell them, help me, hold me accountable, and then that would it would make them feel part of it, meaning so like I wasn't doing it, but
yeah,
like I adapted my life and my eating around yours to help one, to help you, but like to help myself.
Yeah.
But it just made me feel, although I didn't have a coach, I wasn't tracking at the time, I was still helping you. I wasn't doing anything that made you feel
right
out of the uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that carried over into bodybuilding. Like, prep was a whole new thing for us.
It was hard.
Yeah. And so communicating, my struggles or how I was feeling. But even then, it just goes back to, the respect thing. And, I want to put this out there is, if you do have that conversation with somebody, especially if it is your partner or a friend or somebody, and they're not receptive to that, or they continue to put you in situations that are uncomfortable, or they continue to, make comments towards you, or they continue to eat that food in front of you, like on prep, like if that's something that bothers you, and you've communicated that to them, they don't care. Like, they don't care.
Nope.
Matthew would have like an interrogation session with me before he ate something in front of me that wasn't on my meal plan.
Literally, like, are you okay? Like, I'm about to eat. I want to eat this. Can I? I will take it and go eat it in my car. I don't care.
I still remember, like, the biggest one was we were driving home for something, and you had just gotten off work, and it was late, and you, I think, like, got like a pizza or something, and you asked me probably 30 times.
Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
I was like, I need something for this drive just to munch on. I'm gonna get some hot Cheetos.
I love hot Cheetos, for the record.
Is that okay? Is it gonna bother you? Smelling the bag, me eating them, doing anything? No, it's fine. Not convincing enough. Try again.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
And if at any point in the drive I would have said, like, this is sending me over the edge, Matthew would have thrown him out the window.
Probably.
Like, that's the thing, is like, it is very telling, the reactions of people when you tell them
Like
those
your
things.
last like 4 to 5 weeks.
No Diet Coke in the house.
Oh yeah, that was rough for you. But like, you are obsessed with Honey Nut Cheerios. I was not allowed to eat any Honey Nut Cheerios as
Yeah.
like it's just whatever.
It's the respect
Yeah,
thing.
but like it's the foods that some foods you didn't care.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was, to be honest, I was in a really good mindset with food and prep. I was like, you know, this food isn't my food, like that. You know, honestly, temptation wise, prep for me was really easy for food. Like, it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I just got so locked into a mindset of like, that's not my food, I can't eat it. But it was still nice to not be surrounded by that all the time. So, just have the conversation, but also keep in your mind, you know, people's response to that. You know, if you're trying to do something successful and people don't back you, then that says a lot about them and how they see you. So, but I think having that conversation is huge in the beginning. But, you know, sometimes it can be hard to, you know, we were learning how to be codependent on, you know, while me being a bodybuilder and you not, and like that lifestyle looks different. So, I think things, you know, that I wanted to talk about in this episode, is, you know, approaching my next prep season, you know, how you feel like from your point of view, like things that you did to support me, like through my prep and me being a bodybuilder.
what did I do or what am I going to do?
Like what you did or things you're gonna do, and like, so if you're a girl bodybuilder and your boyfriend wants to know how to support you during prep, he can call up King Matthew Monday. But yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of things that you did, you know, that I can think of, that really supported me through prep and that I know you'll do this year too.
Kind of lost. I don't really know what I did. I just lived my life. Like,
to you, it probably feels like normal.
It was normal, but like, so biggest thing is like food.
Yeah.
So you
kind of how we just talked about.
Yeah. So when you started your prep, like difference between prep and just regular tracking was like the type of food you're eating.
Yeah.
You were eating before eating whole foods, but even more so.
I ate nothing processed at all.
Yeah, not
prep.
a single thing.
Yeah, I started my meal plan
like
week 1 and followed that through.
Even from like it'd be day 1 on prep, and if I had something that was a little something processed, if I even had like ice cream, was like, you want a bite, like still not realizing it, but you want a bite and you won't even take that. Like you were so strict. Like
you couldn't have given me $100,000 to eat an extra blackberry.
You'd be like, what if this one little lick of the spoon is the reason why I don't come in first when I'm on stage? All right, fine. But like, that only happened like twice before I like hit a switch and being like, no. And then it came to before, if we would go out or go home, my family or your family, like I would almost, before they would even ask, I would like, hey, don't even offer her anything.
Yeah, because they were getting used to me.
She doesn't want it, but she can't and she doesn't need it. Like, doesn't need the temptation.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing I did was I adapted your food, like how you ate, which was hard because your egg white pancakes. I'm not eating egg white pancakes. I want real ones, but like,
not my egg white pancakes.
But I would like, but you really
the only reason they were in a pancake was because I'd use like so much cinnamon.
Yeah, it was egg whites and then
cinnamon.
Like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon
and peanut butter on top and syrup. And you had to cook it so long and on such high heat that it would burn. So that way it tasted more like a pancake rather than an omelet.
But like we would, but like you really wanted a pancake, like
Yeah.
real ones. Well, I'm not gonna fix it, so I'm gonna eat something I know like you don't like as much. So like you're not a big egg person.
Yeah.
So I would scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Boom, there. That would help. So it wouldn't give you that like upset or bothered
Mhm.
feeling. I would like what else?
I mean,
There's
I
a
could
lot.
name a million
Yeah.
things. So,
Like I'm just trying to think food right now.
I think a very big one was you did a lot of the communicating to like your side of the family, and even like answered some questions like from my family, like on what the changes were, and you know, doing that before we even got there. You know, like you said, like having those conversations prior so that way I wasn't under duress like trying to like answer those questions while I was like freaking out. It's a new thing, you know, and especially in your family, you know, tracking and having a food scale was very different than
Big time.
what anybody was used to ever. And so being able to not even really be asked questions, I think was so big. Yeah, the food part was big, just not having like it was just and it wasn't even the food itself. It really just felt like a safe space. Like it was respectful. It was not stressful. Like all that kind of stuff. Like just with how you talked about the food. But I think, you know, another thing was you like when my brain wasn't functioning to full power, you picked up extra slack like around the house or
Yep.
going and getting stuff. You did grocery trips.
Like you would be like I've been dead exhausted before, but nowhere like how you were.
Yeah.
Like you were I don't even know even right now if I could do more than like 15 minutes on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
You were doing an hour
Yeah.
plus lifting plus your full-time job
And steps
and then like plus coaching still.
yeah, two
So,
full-time jobs.
Yeah. So you were just dead. There's nothing
Yeah.
you were doing. So I wouldn't even ask you to do anything. I'm like, not even gonna try because one, I won't win that fight.
Yeah.
It won't get done. I was like, also just like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't need to sit down and play Xbox or watch something on the TV or go do something.
Yeah.
I can help.
Yeah.
And then like you would just be dead, exhausted. So not asking you to do a damn thing. Besides your job, I'll take care of everything else.
Yeah. I think
the most I would do, it would be dinner. I'd bring you over the pot pan. Like, does this look done? Okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was a big help for sure. You know, there were multiple times that I forgot my meal prep. I left my lunchbox on the counter the day Matthew proposed.
Yeah.
I forgot my eggs, so he had to bring me my eggs.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But like, that was like at least once a week.
Uh-huh.
Once, if not twice a week, you'd be like, hey, I left this at home, or I forgot to make this.
Yeah.
In my head, I would be like, I didn't understand at the time how dead you were. I'd be like, how the hell you're starving, but you forget to make breakfast?
Yes.
Tell me how that makes sense. Like,
It don't.
But I would do it.
Yeah.
Anything that would help you. Then I would also it was hard in the winter because that's when you were on prep.
Yeah.
To like go do things to distract you. I would do whatever. Like my niece and nephew came. Let's go take them ice skating.
Yeah.
You did that. Like
even just like, you know, that's something we did, you know, yeah, the distractions was big, you know, and doing things that weren't, but also, you know, distractions, but weren't like giving me added stress. Like it was, you know, let's play a board game, let's play Xbox, let's watch a movie, let's do a puzzle, let's, you know.
God, I think we did like 10 puzzles.
We did so many puzzles. Let's go on a walk. Let's just go down to the amenity deck. Like, let's, you know, whatever it may be. I think those were super helpful to me on prep. So, yeah, I think those were big. So those were really everything that I mean, you did so. I mean, also too, a big thing was I went through a lot of holidays while I was still on prep. And so I felt like I didn't, we approached things in a way like I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. Like I was on prep for Thanksgiving, I was on prep for Christmas, I was on prep when we got engaged, I was on prep for your birthday. No, I had just gone off prep for your birthday. Yeah. Valentine's Day is what I was thinking of.
Reverse up.
Yeah, your birthday was a week after because that was a Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on prep for all those things, and like for Thanksgiving, obviously we didn't do anything really together. But then Christmas, we still did our Christmas together, and made it normal. We didn't do anything crazy. And then when we got engaged, it was the party was toast with water, and I ate my chicken and my green beans, and I felt fulfilled and happy. And it wasn't like, oh, let's throw this party with like food and Olivia can't eat it and whatnot. We waited to do the engagement party until July when I was like fully reversed and good to go. And then Valentine's Day, you bought me rice cakes and sparkling water, so like it still felt normal. It wasn't just like, oh well, we're not going to do anything because we can't do it the normal way.
Yeah.
So
and also like getting you like like you were always tracking, so when we go home, and that wasn't a big deal, but when you were on prep, like the food was low.
Yeah.
But so like, all right, when you're tracking and take your food home, your family sees, well, it's the same amount of food that we're eating, it's just different. It's your stuff.
Yeah.
When you're on prep, they actually see that's it.
Yeah.
But to get you to understand to like ignore that thought, and like for the holidays, although your dinner wasn't much, split it in half.
Yeah.
Or like eat it as like a graze.
Yeah.
To make you feel like you're still eating and you can still feel like you're participating.
Yeah.
But you're not eating that junk food or any sweet treats or nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was very helpful. So I'll be excited to do round 2 coming up, which is so terrifying, but whatever. So I think, a take for me on that is, maybe things we'll be doing differently for my next prep. Is kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I think, one, I'm prepping during a different timeline. So
which just the weather itself is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
Because during the winter, and you were so lean.
And I was so cold. We lived in such a small apartment. Like, I was always in the kitchen because kitchen and the living room are attached. So, like, and you couldn't go out and do anything.
And you were always cold.
Yeah.
Like
every time we ate dinner, I'd make Matthew turn the air off.
You would, like, so one thing we did when you were on prep, like, a lot of, before it got cut out, was, like, your Ninja Creamies. Because it would be so filling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything. You froze milk and then you blended it into ice cream.
Yeah.
Without adding anything.
Yeah.
But the air had to be turned off.
I had to be like a heating pad.
A shirt, hoodie, sweats, the biggest, thickest socks you could find.
Yep.
Heated blanket, like bundled up, hood up. All right, now I can eat and still be cold.
Yeah.
But now this one would be in the summer, so we could be hanging out by the pool.
Yeah. I think the timeline will automatically make some things easier, having summer. And you know what, that comes with it. It's pros and cons. Like, there's I'm going to be traveling a lot more this prep because, it is during the summer. But I think overall I'll be able to be distracted a little bit and happier in a sense overall because it will be warm outside and I'll be able to be by the pool. But I think that's big. I think something too, like, I wasn't super food focused, during prep, but I ended up like baking a lot during prep. Like, for you, one, I think it was a sense of stress relief for me, and I think it was a way for me to do something in our relationship. But I do think that, with baking that much, it put a lot of focus on food.
Yeah, I think, like,
so
'cause you enjoyed
that was
baking,
hard.
And, like, you would always say, like, I can't eat
And I've always loved baking.
Yes, you loved it. And you would, during prep, would say, like, I want to make something good, even though I can't eat it. You or, like, someone else can enjoy it.
Yeah, it fulfilled me to make things for other people.
However, you were then nothing but surrounded by food,
Yeah.
and like in the moment, it wasn't.
It didn't bother
It
me.
didn't bother you, but like afterwards, thinking back, it was like that's one of the things we're not gonna do this time.
Yeah, I think that will be a bit, and it wasn't like detrimental, but I think it was just a small thing that, yeah, in the moment I think it was a stress relief thing, but I think it put like, oh, well, I can't have this now, but I can have it later. I can't, I don't, and then I didn't even end up wanting it later, but then I had it anyways. So I think that'll be helpful. I think too, it will be, one, my work schedule's a lot different now, so I have a lot more flexibility. So I think splitting up my cardio and my workout will be a lot easier to do, like lifting in the afternoon instead of having to do all my cardio and my lift in the morning all before like 9 a.m. I think will be easier for me and for you too. So yeah, that'll be nice to be able to do.
And like you got a better um, work relationship, like your different jobs. So like the people you're surrounded with around be better. Someone that you worked with has bodybuilded before, so he understands.
Yeah.
Like so, like it's all around. This one should be.
Yeah, a lot of the people that I work with, there's some people there that like have bodybuilded or know about bodybuilding, but even just there's more people that I work with now that get it, and they, even if they don't get it, they're respectful about it. Like that's a different thing, is I was met with like a bunch of disrespect from my last place that I worked, and like judgment and like made fun of, which is so ironic because I never made fun of anybody for being unhealthy, but whatever.
They would order food and be like, don't you wish you could have this?
Right,
like,
right. Just stupid stuff.
Bunch of assholes.
Yeah, so hope you had a bad day. But yeah, I think, doing differently in that prep will be, just communicating even more to my job, which I've already done, and they've been super receptive to that. And I communicated a little bit to my previous job, but again, they just, were very disrespectful about it at times. So I think that'll be big for me, is communicating that. I think promoting more recovery this prep, I think, will be big for me. I didn't do a whole lot of intentional recovery aside from I was good with my sleep. I was very good about getting my sleep, but I didn't have any problems like managing stress, but like I didn't do really any sort of like recovery. Like I want to do like more stretching, yoga, massages, sauna, like therapy, like all kinds of recovery things this prep to like, one, like help settle me down, keep things flowing, and then just like feel good rather than high intensity, like literally all of the time, and just promoting like being rested, feeling rested, giving my body some love. So I think that'll be a big thing I'll do differently this prep too.
I agree.
So do you think there's anything I should do differently this prep?
Like the recovery one, because besides sleep, to my knowledge, I don't think you really did much of anything. Like you would, like,
and your body gets so worn down, so it needs it so bad.
And you'd be like
baths.
Sore.
I need to do baths.
Yes.
Well, we didn't have a bathtub last year, but we have one now. So.
But you wouldn't do anything. I would try to tell you, sit in the sauna for a little bit.
Yeah.
We had the gym we used to go to had massage beds.
Yeah.
Try them out.
Now I'd be using that hoe for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Fall asleep on it.
So good.
But like, so just pretty much the recovery, like you said, would be the biggest one to have you make sure you do. Also, like, I think it'd be easier this time around because the season and weather, but like, get you out more, not just because your full-time job, one of them, coaching, and then prep. So you were nothing, and then
my full-time job then was like I was there from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the dot. Like,
yeah, you couldn't leave
all day
a minute earlier, even if you were done. You would text me saying, "I'm done for the day. Have nothing to do," at noon. but you weren't allowed to come home.
Don't even get me started on that place.
But like, so during your last one, if you weren't coaching, you'd get off work and then you'd get done coaching, and then you already did your workout. We couldn't really do anything, so then we were stuck in our small apartment, which again, our living room and our kitchen were one. So you're always surrounded by food. And just all of that. So I think this time around, like, to get you, make sure you,
even if it's just like in the evening, like going down to the amenity deck and just like chilling, or
walking to the arch,
going out for a walk, or
it'd be summer, so the zoo here, we love that, and it's free, so like we can just go walk and get your steps in whenever. Like, get you out of the apartment and out doing things that doesn't make you feel like it's part of a workout.
Because when we went to the zoo, like when I think it was like I was like 3 weeks out, or when we would do like a couple of things, when the dogs are going crazy now. Can you lay down, honey bunny? Oh, she wants her Oh, do you have something to say? She says, "Mommy, I love you. I'm so proud of you." Oh my God, stop it. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, like when we were, I literally can't focus. You are the cutest thing in the whole wide world. When we would go and do that stuff, like I wouldn't be thinking about food. And so that I think will be super helpful, will be to just be able to get out and have distractions and have fun and still like maintain, I did do an okay job, like still like maintaining like my social life and my friendships and my relationships last prep, but I want to be even more intentional about it this year, like not feel like I'm missing out on anything. And
I think one of the things that will help, like, so it's the challenges this time is, so like this job has you traveling a lot. However, most of the places you go to, you've never been before. So yes, you'll be going and you'll still be tracking your food and still making sure you get your workout in, but it's also like
I get to go explore.
You get to explore and see things. So you're not thinking about anything.
And my manager that I travel with is very invested in like my bodybuilding journey and like gets it completely. And we've already had the conversation of what my travel schedule will look like, once I'm in prep, and, is very cognizant of that. And, I have the rental car, I can get food. I use a meal prep company. And so it will be different, but I think one, it will keep me busy. And that was the other thing, is like I had nothing to really like do or look forward to aside from show day. And so you kind of just get like lost in the sauce. Every day's the same, day over day, week over week, month over month. We had no vacations. I never traveled with my job, hated my life, whatever. Now it's like I have so much travel. I've got my sister getting married, Katie getting married. I've got a bachelorette trip in there. I've got travel for work, like all that kind of stuff. So I think that will be a big help for that.
Yep. And then, I agree.
So I think, something I wanted to touch on too in the podcast that we do today too is like from the she is so insane, she loves her corner, is how to not, strain your relationship as being the bodybuilding partner. So, like we talked about, with just the pure exhaustion that happens and the lengths that you're putting your body through and the amount of just time that it takes to do everything that's required of you in prep, especially deep in prep, is a whole nother full-time job in itself. Like it takes up all of your time, takes up all your thoughts. So
like communicating is definitely the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And like communicating, even if it's the same thing, re-saying it once a week, because you would tell, I'm exhausted. All right, well, it'd be the weekend. We didn't do anything. You napped. You're getting over 8 hours of sleep. You're doing your workout, cardio, but during the day, we weren't doing anything. We were chilling on the couch, and you would take like nap. So in my head, I'm seeing that. Well, she's rested, and then you'd be deep in prep. You'd start getting like mood swings because you're just starving all the time.
Yeah,
but not really. But so like, what's wrong? Me not like in my head not realizing
Nothing is wrong. I just can't
Yeah,
regulate my emotions.
exactly. So like
Yeah.
it took just now now I understand, but like it took us and you just communicating it not on a daily but a couple times throughout the week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's very important to, I think a mindset that I had to get into that took me a little while to get into that I think I'm really excited about that I have in my brain now about going into prep for the second time is I choose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I pay a coach every month to do it. I I choose to check in every week. I choose to sign up for the shows. I choose to do prep. Like, it's not your fault. It's not my coach's fault. It's not my family's fault. It's not my friend's fault that I'm hungry and I'm tired and I'm lean. Like, I'm choosing to do this. I need to have a positive mindset around it. And so I think that took me a little bit to develop was like everybody loves to go on and like talk about how low their food is. But like not like and it's not complaining, but like this is what we signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's what you signed up for. It's gonna be hard. It should be hard, and it's not forever.
No, like you always would say, it's not forever. And it would get to a point where like, you were 6-7 weeks out.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, all right, we got 6 more weeks of this. All right, well, and if you'd be like, oh, this is hard, but only 6 weeks. Oh well, that week just flew by. I only have 5 now.
Yeah.
Like, knowing like this isn't forever and it's a goal and like, yeah, it was just a goal and you knew, okay, once I get on that stage and I get off.
I'm not gonna think about how long it took.
No.
And I never did.
No, you were on a long prep last time, and then afterward you were like it was hard, but afterward you were like, I could do it again.
Yeah.
Like it was worth it. Like I had a good time.
Yeah.
You're doing a second one. Point proven.
Yeah, 100%. But I think, getting in the mindset of, to not strain relationships is one. Everybody, another thing that I see on the internet all the time is like, people getting in prep and they're like head down, not talking. Don't do that. Don't do it. I had my head down and I grinded the fuck out on my protocols, but I didn't separate myself from people. I didn't sabotage our relationship. I didn't sabotage my friendships. I didn't sabotage, my family relationships. You can have your head down and be working harder than everybody and not have to isolate yourself.
Yep.
Don't isolate yourself. Do the date nights. We did the puzzles. We would do things that kept us like connected as a couple outside of food, and that's something we had to learn how to do. And then like with family, if anything, I learned, I had the best holidays of my life last year because it was not food focused at all for me. I got to go solely to spend time with family, and so I think that was so big. And with my friends, I still hung out with my friends because guess what, they're not forcing me to be on prep either. They're not the ones that are making me do this. Why would I not reach out to them and be a part of their big moments and come visit them still? And like, this is my doing, and I still need to show up as myself as best as I can. And yes, it's going to look different sometimes. Like me showing up as a partner to you in prep is different than me showing up as a partner, in off season per se. And like same with my friends, but in a sense of different of like, hey, I can't like go out to dinner and get drinks, or hey, like I gotta go to bed, or I gotta go do whatever. But be social, like keep it up and don't pull away from those people, because then when you get on stage and you get off, and if you pulled away from them and they're not there, that's your fault.
Yep.
Like
you,
if you, I was so happy to stand on that stage knowing I had so many people in the audience that were cheering me on and knew that I didn't strain any of those relationships through prep. I got off and everything was normal. Like, yes, I had more time and more energy and like I felt like myself again. But it wasn't like I'd cut people off or pulled away or isolated myself out of prep. So, nothing changed. But I see and hear about it all the time is, people isolating themselves and they their partner breaks up with them, they don't have the same friends, they're, maybe there's a strain on their family relationships or things like that. And that also comes down to the communication. Communicate how you're feeling. Like, when my parents came here for opening day, when I was, I think that was 2 or 3 weeks out, like very close to my show, and I was dead tired, like done, dead, as depleted as you can get. And I saw them a decent amount of times through prep, but like they hadn't seen me before then since I was like 12 weeks out, so like it was a big difference. And they came, and I was like, listen, I really don't even have the energy to talk. Like, I know, like, this is just truly how I feel. Like, this isn't anything against you. Like, this is what I'm going through. I have to wake up. I have to do cardio. I have to lift. I'm going to bring my food to the game. Like, this is what it looks like. And then when I come home, I have to do this. Like, just the education, the communication, rather than just, like, sitting in silence and them thinking, I'm pissed or I'm unhappy or whatever. And let them know, like, I'm having the time of my life, but, like, I can't talk right now. Like, I'm going to fall asleep. So I think communicating also goes into that of like not pulling yourself to isolate. So
yep, I agree.
Yeah, you really want to talk, don't you? And this little hot potato got me through prep too, didn't you? She's only barked like once in her life, so I act like she's like actually gonna say things. But I think couple things here. So that I've got in my notes that I wanted to talk about as well is biggest tips for, bodybuilding couples. And, we really kind of already touched on that, in things that you did to support me or whatever it may be. But, what would be your biggest tip to, maybe like your biggest 1 or 2 tips to somebody who is a partner of somebody who has prepped before and they're getting ready to prep again, or maybe it's their first prep?
Ask questions. Like, get to know exactly what they're doing. Like, down to the, if it was like food-wise, down to the gram. Like, get to know what they're doing. Get to, like, understand it. Ask questions. And then, like, be mindful on what you're doing. And like, there's times where we couldn't do anything. You didn't want to do anything. You didn't want me to freaking, we weren't even touching.
Yeah.
But, like, you just wanted both of us on a couch watching a movie.
Yeah.
Like, help them get through it and just be respectful. Like, that's the biggest thing. Just be respectful and help and understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
I did realize that I missed a point that I wanted to talk about too, and like how to not strain your relationship as being the bodybuilding partner. And it goes into something that I will do differently this next prep, and that is in the intimacy piece that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it because it's a big part of what you go through. We've been together for 8 years. If you don't know that goes on, then I'm sorry. I'm breaking it to you. We've slept together, okay? Wow. Just breaking the internet.
Oh, my God.
So that's a big piece of it. And, I unfortunately did lose my cycle last prep about 8-9 weeks out. I lost my menstrual cycle, and meaning that my hormones they took a hit.
That's another thing. If that does happen to your partner, I was already educated. But if you're not educated on that, educate yourself or ask questions, because it's also going to be a rude awakening. You were 9 weeks. You were probably lost it for probably a total of 12 weeks.
It was like 15.
All right, 15. So when it came back like a mean bitch.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Yeah.
And just prepare yourself. Like, it is completely different.
Yeah. I love that, though. And to your point, like, even if you're not a bodybuilder, if you're a man watching this or you're a girl watching this and you're a man, have them learn your cycle and what it means. Because, like, I mean, Matthew literally knows when I'm going to start my period before I start my period. So,
About
like,
6 days.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and one, it helps him understand what I'm going through. Or, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like crap, or my lift was heavy today. And, like, he knows, like, what's going on. But back to that. That was a big piece of it is, your hormones are, most likely taking a hit going through a prep, meaning your sex hormones are being impacted at that time. And so there was very long spans where we weren't being intimate and, learning and being cognizant as the bodybuilding partner of being able to think about that and have that in my mind. Like, for me, I wasn't feeling those feelings, and so I wouldn't even, like, think about it. I wouldn't even cross my mind. And I think I didn't even communicate that as well as I could have, being like, hey, this, I know is out of whack. This is, impacting me in this way. This is how I feel, whatever. And that was the reality of it. And I think, too, another big thing of supporting your partner that is a bodybuilder, too, is not getting so upset about that.
And not pressuring.
Pressuring, yeah.
So, like, okay, straight up, we probably went, when you lost it, we probably went 10 weeks without doing anything.
Yeah.
And for most couples, definitely that's a long ass time. So, like, it took a while. It was before your show, though, and definitely before you got it back. Like, when we had the conversation, like,
you just kind of ask, like, hey, are you feeling differently?
And also, it's like, everyone has, like, needs on, like, you want to feel the, like, closeness part. It's not the hug and kiss goodbye or in the morning. So, like, figure something out. Like, for us, it was, like, we both, when we're on the couch, we are where we're at now. Like, we're hanging out, but, like, we're not cuddled up.
We're separate, yeah.
So, it was more let's cuddle up on the couch, actually, and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Like, feel close. Like, it
you
just...
can have it. I'm very big on that. Intimacy starts outside of the bedroom anyways. And so, like, we were being intimate, but it was, like, more of just, like, emotionally intimate because, physically it just
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Just understand it. And it's like, if you're serious with your partner, you're gonna get, like, it's gonna happen again.
Right.
It's just gonna be a minute.
Yeah.
And
having the respect from you too, like, not feeling, like, pressured or guilty about how I was feeling. And, we knew where it was coming from. And, having the conversation of, it wasn't you that, it's not you that's the problem. It just wasn't, it just, my body was going through so many changes. And so then also, being on supplementation after prep, trying to get my cycle back and everything. And, my hormones then trying to level out and all of that stuff.
It was hard. And it was like, there's times where, like, you'd almost try to, like, force yourself just, like, to do it because it's been so long. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But, like, wait until it comes back. And it takes a while.
Yeah.
Like,
and luckily I did get my cycle back relatively quickly. It was about
but just because your cycle came back doesn't mean your hormones were still awful. Like,
yeah, they
low.
were still all over the place.
So just educate yourself.
Yeah. Learn about your cycle for my females and as for my males as partners as well.
I, even almost till this day, I almost want to roll my eyes to it, but I'm not a girl, so I don't know. But, like, there's different phases that you go through. The whole, your luteal phase or whatever.
She
pisses
a bitch.
Me off.
She a bitch.
Like,
for real.
We
don't like her either.
I always wanted to say, for the longest time, I wanted to be like, that's okay. Yeah, that's what you're in, but bypass it. Like, ignore it. Like, you can still do it.
You didn't really understand, like your whole body, like, chemistry changes.
Yeah, like, you would go, all right, you're going doing your freaking whack ass 3 minutes straight of hip thrust. once you hit your luteal phase, you're going down about 20 pounds, and
Can't
you're
even
like,
think
it
about
feels
that.
heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Well, just like
Yeah,
when it
because
comes
as
to the
males,
gym,
you're
help.
going through hormone shifts on a 24-hour basis.
Mhm.
Like, your hormones shift in the morning, and then they regulate throughout the day, and they do their thing again at night. Whereas females, you're going through a 28-day cycle rather than 24 hours. So,
Just educate yourself.
yeah, it's not just, a silly little term or, you know, it's true. It's a true thing that impacts how you feel, how you look, how you perform, how your body is. Like, you
And
look
also it's
different, you
like
feel different.
what
Like,
depend on like where you're at is also like as a guy, I know what to say to you. I'm like, okay, you're at this part of the month, you're in this phase.
yeah,
So you're gonna every single day I'm gonna hear you say, I look fat, I'm ugly, like I don't look good. So like I know how to hype you up. I know how
yeah.
to like make you feel good.
And you can even call me back and be like, "You're about to start your period in 4 days." Like, your
And like
body's
I will let you know
obviously
and be
going
like,
through
hey,
something.
this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's a switch in your head and you're like, yeah, you're right. And then like you feel better about yourself.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. He always joins right at the end.
always.
Like, what are you doing, Bubba? You are so funny. And if you need another thing to support you through prep, get a animal. Specifically a Bubba's. Specifically cuter. But yeah, that was something I definitely wanted to mention was that piece is I feel like that, making sure you're communicating that and like expecting that to potentially happen, I think is a big thing. Being in a relationship and going through prep is huge. So, yeah, but I think, tips for, couples that are even, lifestyle based, but maybe are bodybuilding or just lifestyle is again, the communication piece. Talk to each other. If you're struggling or, if per se you always, you wanted to continue to go out to dinner, like, and that was bothering me, talk about it. Your partner can't do anything about it unless you talk to them and know. And like, don't live in the mindset of like, they should know, like they should pick up on it. Like,
No,
have the
not at all.
conversation. And I think too is, realize that, it's both sides in this. Like, it's up to me to do everything that I can to, still have the normalcy in our relationship and not put the strain on it. And to you to help support, where you can, things like that, and be able to pick up slack where needed. Because it's never going to be 50-50, and realizing that, it's going to look different.
There was like
but it's not
some
negative
days
if
it's
it looks
50-50.
different.
Even when you're on prep, there are some days, yeah, okay, it was 50-50. Some days it was.
Some days I could do everything.
Some days it was 90-10 me. Some days it was 90-10 like
Yeah.
you. Like it was figure it out, and wherever it helped me. Like if days that you had a bunch of energy and like you were good to go, I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah.
Just 'cause it makes you feel good, like I'm actually doing something. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But that next day when you're dead,
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna throw a fit because you're not doing anything or I need help. No.
Yeah.
I got it. Even if it takes me a little longer, I'm a little slower, or if I do something wrong,
Yeah.
like help.
Yeah. I think that's super big, and, finding ways to still, date and have fun and do things, but just maybe in different ways is important. Because it's going to look differently. Even if your lifestyle or your bodybuilding, you've got physique goals, whatever it may be, I guarantee it's going to look differently than what it used to for yourself. And get them involved in the process. Like, we talk about, my check-ins and my feedback and where I'm at in my journey, and, hesitations that I have, or, we had the conversation months and months and months ago, about when I decided I did want to continue to competing, and like looping you into that and seeing how you felt about it and any feedback you had, things like that, rather than just having it be like one-sided, asking for help, asking for feedback, working together as a team.
And also letting them know like what you need help on.
Yeah.
If you just came to me like I need help, explain.
Yeah.
So like be very clear. Like if you're a girl to your man, dumb it down. act like you're talking to a first grader, whatever, to get the point
Especially,
across.
you know, like if I'm
Like,
talking like bodybuilding terms. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And also, like, ask them to be part of it. Like,
Yeah.
I learned your whole routine.
Matthew
I
knows
could
my
probably get
whole
up.
posing routine.
I couldn't do it, but I could come close.
Yeah.
But also, like, I taught myself on what to look for when you did it.
Yeah.
So I could help you. I'm not a coach. I'm not a posing coach.
Yeah.
But I could help you somewhat.
Most something major stuck out, you were able to pick up on it. So
like the little how to place your hand or
yeah.
how you're that I don't know.
Yeah.
But on what you're supposed to look like and like specifically, I could help.
Mhm. So
But I couldn't do it if you never asked.
Yeah. I think we make a good team.
Solid.
Yeah, we're pretty good. Pretty good. But I'm very excited to go through round 2 together. I think I'm honestly excited as fuck. Like, I'm so excited to prep again. And I'm just I'm not even more excited I'm excited to get on stage again, but like, if you truly love bodybuilding, yes, the stage is fun, but you love the process of getting there. That's the difference. Like, you have to love getting there. It can't just be I love competing, I love being lean, I love being in a sparkly suit, I love being tan. Like, that's fun. Don't get me wrong, but like, the day of my show, I forgot we were like going against each other. And then we got pulled up for finals, and I remember telling my mom, I was like, "Oh, like I have to get a medal. Like I forgot about this part." Like, you know, so I'm excited to go through the process again. One, because, you know I can do it. The first time you do it, it's like, holy shit, like can I actually do this? How is my body going to respond? So now I know I'm capable of doing it. I'm so excited to work even harder. I'm excited for us to work even harder together as a team. Like, you know how it goes now. It's going to be so much easier. And I'm excited to see what package I can bring to my couple shows here. So we'll have to do some prep episodes and stuff once I get deep into it. So I'm excited. So
let's get you become pro. Let's do it.
Oh my god. Anyways, cool. Well, we will see you guys next episode, and we're happy to have you here.
Peace.
Peace.